Lucas Paqueta, he has left. And as you can see by the title of this video, I'm not very happy about it, to be quite honest with you. And I will say this right now, the most disappointing superstar, and I put superstar in inverted commas, um, that I ever watched at West Ham. Frustrated me, the life out of me. He has got quality. Let's be honest, he has got quality. Maybe it's not all his fault, but I will go from the start to the finish. Now, when he first signed for West Ham, it was a very exciting signing. I remember us beating the likes of Newcastle, Arsenal, Tottenham to his signing. And it was at a time where it was very positive for West Ham. It looked like everything was on the up. And we was playing in Europe and everything was hunky-dory. Now, fast forward 5 years, it's not so quite hunky-dory now. But let's go back to the beginning. I was very excited about seeing him. And he came into the Premier League and he didn't set the world alight. He didn't. He was average at best at the start. But it got towards the end of the season. And I will say this about Lucas Paqueta. We'd obviously seen him the season before in Lyon. And I think that's where we scouted him when we played Lyon, when we beat him in the quarterfinals of the Cup. And was it the quarterfinals or was it the second round? I can't remember what it was. But it was very disappointing. He was very disappointing in that game. We signed him. I was very excited. He came here, very disappointing at the start. And then he came for 6 months. He formed around, if I remember rightly, about January, and it continued on. And he was great. He was fantastic. He got to grips with the Premier League. He got to grips with, everything about, the style of play. He was dogged. He was determined. He was creative. He was, took players on. He was exciting to watch. And obviously the final in Prague, he put through the magic ball, listen, no one's ever going to take this away from him. He etched his name in history when he put that ball through. Fast forward a couple of years. He's good for a quarter of a season in the second season. Then the rumours start about Manchester City. And as quickly as he came, he wanted to go to Manchester City. So he got to the end of the season. He wants to go to Manchester City. He requests to be out of the Bournemouth game, etc., because he's got this transfer. So he wasn't up for it anyway. Listen, I would never blame a player for wanting to go to Manchester City. They was winning trophies at the time. I think that season they won the Champions League. £85 million. The club was happy with the deal. We was happy with the deal. We just accepted he was going to go. Thank you very much, Lucas. See you later. And then there was this rumour that popped up that he was involved in some sort of scandal. He could be banned for life. Now, listen, I'm not going to speculate on Lucas Paqueta involvement in the transfer, in the betting scandal. It's not, he's been found innocent. So as far as I'm concerned, he's innocent. All right. But for 2 years, the FA investigated him. Now, the FA have got a lot to answer for because they was investigating something. They didn't find anything. And for 2 years, they held him at ransom. During that 2 years, he earns a lot of money playing for West Ham United. And he was piss poor. Now, we all made excuses for him. We all said we was behind him. We all, dismissed, the betting scandal. We just said, look, we hope it's not true. If it's true, he gets banned for life. But if they're investigating for this long, they couldn't find anything. The FA found nothing on him, right? Nothing that stuck. We put up with that 2 years of tepid disappointment coming into this season. He got very emotional towards the end of last year. If you remember, there was a very specific moment. I think it was against Tottenham when he got booked and he broke down in floods of tears. The frustration was clearly getting to him. Listen, we was behind him. No one ever put any blame on Lucas Paqueta. The disappointing performances. We knew he was a good player. We'd seen it for 6 months. And then he gets cleared. The frustration floods away from him. It's about time he gets his career back on track. West Ham have paid him for 2 years, as disappointed as he was. Listen, I'll speak to you in a minute, West Ham United fan. Disappointed for 2 years, as disappointed as he was. we stuck behind him and we said to him, I can't wait to get Lucas Paqueta back, because for 6 months and that final, we'd seen the magic of Lucas Paqueta. We'd seen it. He is 28 now. He's going back to Brazil. He's in the prime form of his the prime of his career. The best years of his career. 28 is when they hit their peak. He started the season, started electric again, 5 goals. Then he started to be disappointing again. We give it all this. He scored at Forest. We thought we got him back. We waited for 2 years. We finally got our man back. We finally got the man back. He'd wasted an opportunity to go to Manchester City, but West Ham were the ones that stuck behind him. West Ham's were the one that stuck with him. They was looking at a £50 million loss if he got banned for life. We didn't know his involvement in it. We stuck behind him. We supported him. Give it all this. 3-0 away to Forest. Chuck the phone away. Rumours about him going to Villa. I was so adamant that I didn't want him to go because I thought this was going to be the season. And he started great. Again, 5 goals he's got, I think, this season. 5 goals. Most of them for the penalty spot, but 5 goals. 1 assist. And then his form has gone from down there to down there. Now, listen, I'm not saying that there's nothing to do with the squad. The team is poor, and it's been poor for all this season, and it includes some of our better players like Jared Bowen and all that. But this is the Brazilian's number 10. This is a superstar. I've seen superstars at West Ham. We don't get many through the door, but we get them. Dean Ashton was a superstar. Dimitri Payet was a superstar. Carlos Tevez was a superstar. Paulo Di Canio was a superstar. Joe Cole was a superstar. We've seen them. And what we get from them is we see their qualities. Dimitri Payet, for all of his disappointing performances, Dimitri Payet, he won games on his own. He was bad. I remember him dribbling around a whole team at Middlesbrough. I remember him, scoring fantastic goals. That's what superstars do. They get the game by the scruff of the neck, no matter how poor everyone else is, and they try and win the game for you. For the last 6 months, let's go August, September, so 4 months, he's gone missing. We are deep in trouble. Let's not make any bones about it. We've got 15 games left to save our skins, right? There's people flying out the door. There's people coming in the door. We need people playing at the best of their ability. And we've just picked up a little bit of form. And it isn't a coincidence. We've picked up a little bit of form since he's gone out the squad, because he is a rotten apple, right? And what did he repay us with? He repaid us with that 2 years that we waited for the real Lucas Paqueta to come. He all of a sudden decides in January, in the middle of a relegation fight, that he wants to go back to Brazil. He wants to go home. He's had enough here. He's had enough. 3 years we paid that man £150,000 per week. Per week. As shit as he's been. And in the middle of a relegation fight, when the chips are up against us, when the chips are stacked against you, when you've got to roll up your sleeves and fight, what does he do? Pisses off like a rat. He is the epitome of what I call a scumbag, to be quite honest with you. Listen, I've seen the pictures. I'm happy for as a person, if that's really what he wanted to do, I'm happy for him. He gets to go back home. If that's where he really wants to go, he wants to go back home, and his family wants to go back home. Fine. We would give you our blessing at the end of the season, but we needed you. We needed you at a moment of need. We needed you. And what did Lucas Paqueta do? Lucas Paqueta thought of Lucas Paqueta, and he fucked off. Right? Brazil will still be there in June. Whether we stay up, we go down. It will still be there. By the end of May, you can fuck off. January, in the middle of the fight, he decides he wants to fuck off back home. I do not want anyone like that near our football club, especially when it's down on its dumps. We've got enough to fight without having to fight people that don't want to fucking be here. David Sullivan, the fight, it needs to continue. He needs to get out of this club. He has ruined this club. But I'm sorry. Want to go back home? Whatever. You do not do it at the middle of the season. Faking a back injury. faking a back injury. I watched a report today saying they've got a charity shield game. He could play on Sunday because the back injury that he had that stopped him playing for the last 3-4 games. We won, by the way, so we didn't really fucking need him, right? The back injury that he's had for the last 3 games that mysteriously popped up against Nottingham Forest at our time of need has mysteriously cleared up, and now he'll play in a charity shield. No, not harsh. I'm sorry, but no harsh. Scum. That's what that is. £150,000 a week. He could wait to the summer. You know, we live together, we roll together, we die together. That should be your responsibility as a footballer. That I had dreams when I was a young kid of representing this club. I never had the talent. That boy's got the talent. He wasted it for 2 years, rolling around sulking. Yeah, I dreamed. My biggest dreams were scoring goals in finals, winning cups for us. He's done that. He's done that. You know, saving it, like scoring the goals that save you from relegation. He's got the chance to do that. I'm sorry. You listen, Joshua. You're quite welcome to unsubscribe. £50 million, and you're talking about one pass in a final. One pass. One pass in a final. That's what we got for 4 years at £50 million. Bad. Better without him. Don't want him anywhere near the club. You know, if any, and I mean this with the greatest respects, right? There are so many people in this. Wasn't what? But that wasn't it though, was it? Yeah, it was. It was it. That was it. That's all I saw. I don't know what you've been watching, but that's all I saw. Yeah, £50 million. 50 million. I don't know. No, listen, West Ham United fan. Listen. I didn't say I wanted him to stay. He's made it quite clear that he wants to go. Once he wants to go, he goes. In my opinion, I don't want anyone here. Yeah, but when you need someone to stay, that's when you want them to stay. You know, you want them to stay to fight for you. I'm sorry, but anyone defending him is crackers. Crackers. This football club is nothing like it used to be. Nothing. You know, even the fan base sometimes is nothing like it used to be. There's too many people that gets mesmerised by the glitz and the glamour of the Premier League and these players' names. This geezer, I would rather have a youth team player sitting in the squad than this geezer because that's how much fucking use. He has faked an injury for the last 3 games when we've got our backs against the wall. Exactly that. The idea of having Lucas Paqueta, Brazil's number 10, is better than the actual fact of having Lucas Paqueta, Brazil number 10. Because the matter of fact is this, we might have had Venezuela's number 10. Because that's how fucking good he's been. That's how much he's fucking rolled up his sleeves and fought for this club. I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm glad to see the back of him. You know, I'm glad he's shown his true colours, right? We have booed some players that have left this club, I think, undeservedly. Yeah. This man will never have my respect. There we go. Listen, I respect you all. And look, thank you to OK Jerseys for sponsoring this video. And I'm going to read out some of your comments. Lewis WHUWCE, Nikki, do you think the club will use the money to bring in another CM as centre back, or is that it from the board? They're not spending that money, mate. That's why it's come on the 29th of January. Pac just wasn't up for the fight. See ya. Perfect. Where's he been so far? Poor for the last couple of seasons. Can't think of any particular time when I thought, what a player he is. I'm glad it's all over now. Don't think he's worth more than 20. We've got good money for him in the end. We should have got 85 million 2 years ago. Screw the FA. No, screw him. Screw him. Majority of the squad were bad as him over the past year. Not saying that. Not saying that. But you're a £50 million superstar. You're meant to be the one that sets the and I want to read this comment. You said he's not loyal enough, but also say he can fuck off in the summer. Yeah, he can. You know, you don't not fuck off in the middle of a transfer window, right? And I want to read this one about the lost subscriber. Where is he? Where is he? Blah, 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 blah. Joshua Thornhill, 18. You've lost a subscriber here. What a terrible reaction. So rude. Paqueta was amazing for us for a long time. I don't know what you've been watching, mate. And you just fucking forget that assist in the final. That is all he done for me in 4 years. That was his first season. In 4 years. This is 3.5 years he's been here. And that's all he done. And if that is going to make you lose a subscriber, listening to someone's opinion that you don't agree with makes you lose a subscriber, go make your own channel. That's what I would say. You know, if you don't want to listen to my opinion, listen, you can disagree with my opinion. You don't have to unsubscribe, but that's your choice. That's your choice. It's up to you. But if that an opinion about someone, a football player, and an opinion that many share and many oppose, by the way, makes you unsubscribe. See you later. Thank you very much for coming. I'm thankful for the assist of course. And I made the point of that. You know, I said for 6 months I thought he had arrived. I really did. I really thought he arrived. He was the epitome of great. He was fantastic. He was fantastic. You know, that fight, that energy. You know, he used to go and get the ball himself. He used to say that again. Sort that book out. Sort of book that was an half and a half ago. You know, he used to fight. He used to go and get the ball himself. He used to make things happen. He used to, you know, bring a touch of class for 6 months. Look at him in the last 3, walking around the pitch, losing the ball, getting up and moaning. Don't want to be here. Don't want to fight for us. You know, and that's when and people saying, "Oh, you don't want him to be here, but you want him to fight." No, I don't want him to be here. He don't want to be here. But what you want to see from these sort of players, what you want to see from it, don't talk to me about the board. Yeah, don't talk to me about the board. I'll talk to you in a minute, Damien. Don't talk to me about the board, right? What you want to do as a player, you want people to stand up and want to be here. You know, they've got you in this trouble. They're part of this fight. Yeah, they're one of the reasons we're in this fight. The main reason, you know, it might not even be their fault at all, but they are part of this fight. What you want them to do is you want them to stand up and go, do you know what? I do want to go back to Brazil. I'll give you another 6 months. I'll get you out of this mess. I owe you one. You stood by me for 2 years. Thank you very much, fans. Lucky, what's all this? What's all this? He was saying it at the beginning of the season. 1 more year, 1 more year, 1 more year. Got too hard for him. You know, didn't fancy it. Didn't want it on his CV. Didn't want Lucas Paqueta to be part of a team that went down. Well, he's a big part of it, to be quite honest with you. Damien D'Amico, Nicky, it's the board. They should have sacked Potter last season. Listen, whether they sack him or not, it doesn't fucking matter. Lucas Paqueta is a sacrifice that had to be made because of bad decisions. I'm sorry, no. You've got a choice, mate. He's been faking a back injury and talking to Flamingo behind our backs to make sure he gets. He told the president, which was made a public fucking knowledge, by the way, that he would push for the move, that he would make her so much fuss that he would push for the move. Nah, sorry, but I haven't seen Somerville Cressler move yet. A lot of teams snapping around for him. No, exactly. No, he's not going to go now, is he? But there was times when I did enjoy Lucas, and as I say, as a person, as a player, and the decisions he's making as a player, I don't like him. I think he's a scumbag. As a person, and this is where this is where I did notice that. Yeah, I'm going to get onto that. As a person, I wish him all the best. If that is what he truly wants, and if that is what he truly needs to be happy, I wish him all the best. And I hope he has a very happy life, and I hope his family have a very happy life, because, they are people. But as a professional, not for me. Not for me. He's a traitor. Yeah. But there we go. Did you notice? In fact, everyone else in the leaving video, the players, everyone except for the fans. Yeah, I did notice that, and that's how much she thinks of us, to be quite honest with you. Would you rather City or Arsenal win the league? I'd rather Aston Villa win the league, if I'm honest. There we go. That's I've put it. Yeah, it's not just between them two. Villa are in it as well. But there we go. I'd rather someone else new win it. Their transformation, Aston Villa, from relegation candidates to fucking title contenders has been fucking magnificent. Wish we was run like that. Who would you bring in the last few days? Don't know. Don't know. Don't even thought about it. Here we go. Here we go. He'll never be spoken about. How many will say, "Do you remember when Paqueta?" Listen, Paqueta's never going to come back. That's the issue. He's never going to come back. He's never going to come back. Dasari, yeah, I think we are going to get that Dasari. You know, I've got a feeling we're going to get that Dasari. We're looking at Duran again. I think. Yeah. That's I listened to Tim Vickery earlier. Yeah, all of a sudden he was even saying this back injury has mysteriously cleared up. Funny that. He's swanning it up in Brazil. You know, you look at his social media video. When his wife said, you think they've been in prison for fucking 5 years? Crazy. But there we go. I'm going to wrap it up there, I think, because it's annoying me. It's annoying me. I don't want to answer questions about anything else. I'm going to talk about Lucas Paqueta. I don't care about the league. I don't care about if Nuno was sacked, Enzo, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about any of that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about Lucas Paqueta. We will talk about other things on another show later. But I am fuming. And you know what I'm more fuming about is that some of you have been sucked in by him. And you got mesmerized by him. And you don't want to put any blame on him. Think about what he's doing. Faking an injury, forging a move over to Brazil, and then fucking acting like he's been in prison for 2 years. Think about what you're sticking up. You know, listen, you got your opinions, but just have a fucking think about it. Good hard think about it. Think about where you're going to be in 6 months' time if we get relegated to the Championship, and think about where he's going to be, and just remember when he left. But there we go. Thank you very much. One thing left to say. Come on, you ones.